Hello, Smite fans. Welcome to Alpharetta, Georgia, where we are ready and willing and Kenneth and able to bring you set number 1 of week number 3 of the qualifiers for Smite Pro League Season 2, split number 2 for the spring split. My name is Bart. His name is Kevin. And your chair is very low, so let me join you down there.
Gotta shorten up. Yeah, so first match we're gonna have is Upcoming Stars versus EloFisherS, and there's a lot of banter going back and forth, but I think this is going to be a good matchup. You know, Upcoming Stars basically trying to prove that they deserve to stay in the Pro League. It was really questionable when they first made it in.
Sure.
I believe they knocked out Spicy Waffles, and many thought Spicy should have taken their spot, but now they didn't win a single game, so now they're going to have to prove that they deserve to be in the Pro League in the first split, and that they deserve to be in the Pro League in the second split.
Yeah, it's been about 2 months that they've won a game at a professional level. EloFisherS, it's been years for them. I mean, they've been in the amateur scene for a long time. And you kind of hit it there. A lot of words exchanged here, kind of within the two squads and the two squads against each other both. So we'll see. And I think FDOT put it well yesterday during the analysis show. We know EloFisherS is good at talking smack, but are they good at actually playing the game?
I think they are. I think they're going to come to play here. But I think the real story here is going to be Fails. You know, he was on Upcoming Stars for the first half of the spring split and actually ended up leaving. He ended up joining EloFisherS there for the end of the Challengers Cup, and he's facing off against his old team. I don't know exactly what the dynamic was with him leaving, but I think it's really going to be interesting to see
a little bit of insight into that.
Okay.
It was Cherio and Fails kind of played the same position, so
he was originally a jungler?
Cherio was the sub, I think, when they qualified. And so because they qualified with him, the team thought that he was, it may have been Cherry, it may have been another player, but basically they qualified with a sub, and then we're like, we want the sub on the team, not Fails, who was one of the founding members of the squad, actually. So it was actually really interesting when they first qualified. You know, we reached out to them, we were like, hey, you know, got to get all the information for the Pro League, and it was kind of like, all right, we'll let you know about our roster in like a few hours, and then it did not include Fails. So
okay.
We'll see how they do, but let's go ahead and pop on over to the picks and bans, get this one underway. It's game number 1 of a best-of-5 series between two European contenders. It's the Upcoming Stars and EloFisherS.
And Upcoming Stars are going to take first pick, it looks like. We're going to wait for the bans coming out here. And, you know, I think they need to focus on a team-fighting team comp here. They haven't really had much success during the Pro League, but I think during a weaker... facing a weaker opponent, they're going to have much better. But they ban out, it looks like Ymir first, and then EloFisherS respond right back with the Sylvanas ban. You cannot let that be first picked.
Oh, man. How do you say that name? Lofes Forceful?
I gave up. I'm going with Lof.
Forceful. That's what I'm going to say, because it's Sefol.
Okay, I can see that.
Forceful. That's what I'm calling him.
Agni comes out as a ban as well. These seem more targeted. You know, you typically won't see Ymir banned out. Europe is maybe Frostiak, maybe one of the few players you can see that. But I think they're just trying to take away EloFisher's best gods. Meanwhile, we see just standard bans coming out of EloFisherS. They're going to take away Athena as well. Basically, they're eliminating the 2 top-tier supports. And Ymir's also gone as well. But Thor, first picked by Upcoming Stars, a god that will fit into any team comp no matter what you run. Yeah,
you got Thor, Hunbot, Serket, the top 3 assassins kind of remaining in the pool. And you're right, unconventional bans from the Upcoming Stars, EloFisherS right along the meta lines here. But Poseidon notably is open. He's been a high ban priority in Europe especially. Wouldn't be surprised to see that picked up by the EloFisherS, who are the top side of your screen.
Medusa.
They'll take Dusa, and they'll take Ares, actually.
Okay.
So a very European opening to the draft.
Yeah, and you can kind of see like the strong early gods banned out by Upcoming Stars, but they still managed to get a dual lane that's going to have a lot of kill potential. It's not going to have a ton of push. Medusa individually is really good at pushing, but Ares doesn't really help with that. But that is a very, very strong kill lane, something you don't really see run too much anymore. Mostly it's safe, you know, babysit, make sure your hunter can get to late game.
So Bacchus likely to be the support that Upcoming Stars is going to be forced to kind of pick into here with Sylvanas out of the pool, Ares, Ymir. Yeah, Geb could be, and will be. Okay, yeah. So Geb, a little bit of a better match. I mean, both Geb and Bacchus don't have the best matchup against the Ares. The Ymir ban makes some sense here because they rely very heavily on knockups, and Ares during his Flame Shield is immune to knockups. So a little bit of an advantage perhaps in the lane for the EloFisherS, but it's Upcoming Stars with a very powerful kind of first 3 picks here. The Geb, Agni, Thor, obviously a lot of AoE crowd control, a lot of burst damage coming out of that set. And speaking of AoE crowd control, burst damage, it's Poseidon, the number 1 of all the mages at 100-0.
For sure, and there's a lot of 100-0 here. Medusa also has a ton of that burst, and like it just seems right now to be a hyper burst comp coming out of EloFisherS versus like I don't want to say not burst, but more of a sustained overall, you know, AoE team fighting comp, the Thor Agni going to have a very high potential to combo at mid camps, but it is kind of countered there with the Poseidon being able to 100 to 0 someone like you said, if Thor gets out of position.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the EloFisher squad so far, they want to kill people, but really not take team fights so much. In the team fight, they're looking to get 2 quick picks or a quick pick right away with the Poseidon Ares combination and Medusa to set up some AoE, and Hunbots is going to kind of factor in a little bit heavier into more the team fight side of things here, although very capable at assassinating a single target, versus the upcoming stars who are more pure team fight oriented. The Thor initiation into the Agni setup with Geb later on taking care of that initiation, and Thor becoming more of a backline initiator, and they'll take a Ram as well. So more kind of straight down the line standard pickups from upcoming stars, and they'll round out their draft with the Hercules.
I like their team comp. Their team comp is just very meta, very standard. A lot of AoEs, and really they have good pressure across all parts of the game, right? They have a good early game with Thor. Agni, not obviously as strong as Poseidon, but still okay. Very good mid camp fighter, especially if he's able to hit 5 earlier on, because he has a 20-second ultimate. And is that Chaac picked up last?
So okay. Chaac picked up 4 loafs. To fight into Hercules. I mean, they had the opportunity for the counter pick here, and they elect for really nothing that has much kind of anti-heal or lane presence. Versus the Hercules, they'll elect to try to out-farm him with the Chaac.
Chaac is very safe. You can't really lose lane with Chaac, even against the Hercules, unless you're pushing up to tower and could potentially be pushed out. But Chaac is very safe. He has very strong rotations as well. He's able to clear the lane from under his tower if he does happen to get behind, and then rotate. And the AoE silence coming out of his ultimate, I think, is the biggest thing for Chaac for contesting objectives.
Yeah, the thing that's going to be maybe the story of the game here is can that Chaac have a big enough impact on the game coming out of the solo lane? Because Hercules is going to get a lot done, but can the Chaac find those silences and make this kind of haphazard team fight squad that's been put together by the EloFisherS, where the bots Poseidon and Chaac really need to come together and bring the burst. And you actually see upcoming stars here grouping early. They might be looking for a pick. I mean, with the Hercules, if they just pull one person out of position. Can he even stop the Chaac back? That would be nice. Okay, yeah. No, we'll get a little bit of extra time.
So Chaac actually, he went ahead and it looked like warded, and he wanted it back to be able to get potions. Cherio's just going to stop him here. And basically, nothing's going to happen there, even on the left side. EloFisherS didn't want to fight early. The Hercules just brings too much. One pull out of position, and you're just dead.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, they don't have necessarily the be-all, end-all of level 1 comps, but the Hercules gives them the edge, certainly. Let's go ahead and introduce your squads, ladies and gentlemen, here as we are moving into the game. The team's looking like it's going to be a non-invasion start. The upcoming stars will be in the blue trunks, the bottom side of your minimap, and the left side of your spectator UI. It's Sausage in the solo lane as Hercules. Cherio will be your jungle Thor. Frosty will be the Agni in the mid lane, and that leaves QN and hi-rez for your dual lane as Geb and Ram. Their opponents looking to take the spot away from the upcoming stars in the Pro League. It's EloFisherS, where you will have Loafs as the solo lane Chaac, Fails as the jungle Hunbots, Darzer in the mid lane as Poseidon, and that leaves Big Man Tings and Get Fisher for your dual lane Ares and Medusa.
Looking at starting builds, we're actually going to have an interesting dual lane here. We have the Heartseeker start coming out of Medusa, which is really indicative of what she is, right? She wants to fight early. Her ultimate and her poke with the 2 is incredibly strong in lane. She's going to be looking to get a kill early, or at least poke out the Ram. Ram doesn't always have the best laning phase, but incredibly strong in the late game. Just wants to get the healing from Devo Gloves and try and last as long as he can. So that's going to be an interesting matchup here moving forward. And it looks like Thor had an early rotation, and this is actually really good if they're able to steal away the back harpies. Getting that early XP lead is important to hitting 5 beforehand.
Yeah, we'll see. It is Poseidon, however, that they are going after. So he has pretty solid wave clear himself. They're going to push it forward. Are they going to make the aggressive move? It doesn't look like it. Frosty going to fall back.
Looks like they have a split decision.
Yeah, it looks like Thor maybe calling for... Okay, no, they're actually going to straight up split it. Yeah.
But this could be really bad for Thor. He's alone. And even Chaac's rotating from the soul lane, as you can see. He could be in a bad spot if he gets caught here. Oh,
no, he's fine.
Whirlpool is in a bad spot. If he was in a little bit better position, he might have been picked off there.
Just if he would have held it even a little bit and allowed for Fails to close the gap there, they could have maybe put something together and crippled out the Mjolnir Jatumen on the first throw, but nothing cooking just yet. We're still 0 apiece at 90 seconds into this one, and, well, it's going to be a small advantage for the stars off that start.
Yeah, I mentioned it more in picks and bans, but it's really important for Agni to hit 5 before any other mage, because his ultimate stacks slowly, right? You get the Rain of Fire, but every 20 seconds you get another. It's it's critical basically to hit level 5 at about 2 minutes and 30 seconds, so you have that second bomb for mid camps.
He's going to be very, very close. Probably about this minion wave should hit Frosty to 5. He's going to be about half a level ahead of Darzer, it looks like, at this point in the game. So success through the first couple of minutes for the Stars. But, you know, we'll see at the mid camps really what they can make out of this. No, so he's going to be, it looks like about a minion off it as the mid camps come in.
Yeah, the next wave, he'll have 2 bombs for mid camps, which is really an important thing. And, you know, this lane is kind of going how I thought it would. Geb doesn't really have a ton of push, and Ram also not a ton of push. Medusa has incredibly strong clear early on, and there's also the threat of the Ares, right? If you get chained in a bad spot, Ram is dead with the burst, and it looks like they're going to hit 5. And I would like to see a double rotation come out from EloFisher's dual lane here. I think they're going to be able to pick up an Agni or Thor who gets out of position.
Yeah, see if they can push this one and keep it underneath the tower in the next few seconds. Yes, here they go. They're going to make their way to the left side mid camp where Hunbots is currently holding down the fort. There's Agni. With his bombs active, he's going to need a little bit of poke from
I think
Fails,
they could have baited him in, but they're looking very aggressive, and it looks like they're just going to trade out mid camps.
Yeah, it's going to be right side to the upcoming Stars, left side of the EloFisher. It's going to be a 4-man split on the left side, it looks like here. So even though they're not going to get as much per person, they will get a bit of an XP lead over the upcoming Stars with that mid camp.
Smart decision by Gab to stay in lane. He's not going to be able to contest that. He just runs the risk of getting picked off by the Ares or the Hunbats rotating in. And look at Hunbats. He was already looking for a gank over in left lane after that. He's just going to back off.
No kills, no real attempts coming out so far just yet. Cherio, sitting at level 6, needs to get this Thor ultimate going, and here it's going to be. He's going to take up into the sky, and they're looking for Darzer. They recognize that he doesn't have any mana. He's going to go for the back. This could be a bit of a bait. We'll see the Agni bombs come through. Cherio right out, right away. The Hunbot's ultimate used. And actually a lot expended to not find that kill onto Darzer.
Cherio, another miscommunication. Cherio didn't think they had the damage to kill him, or at the very least thought the Agni damage was going to be enough if he just Berserker Barrage for half a second. But at the same time, he would run the risk of getting...
He would have been in that Fear No Evil. But
Fear No Evil.
You know, one in-hand may have made the difference there. With 2 members around, plus that bonus damage that Thor gets, it could have been just enough to do the dirty deed. But it's nothing cooking just yet. Still, as we are looking at about a 400, 300 gold advantage for the upcoming Stars, it's pretty damn even. XP about 1,000 in favor of the Stars as well. So they've controlled the early game, looking to be, you know, the more sound fundamental team at least. We'll see what happens when the team fights begin.
Yeah, and I think they're going to have a really strong mid game as long as they get to the point where the Ares isn't putting a lot of pressure on them. And has he gone blink yet? Yeah, so the Ares picks up an early blink. I expect him to try and make a play here in mid or potentially solo early on. You are Hercules. It's very hard to kill, but you see actually, oh, Kraken comes out there. Are beads available? No, they're not. That's going to be a kill. Frosty actually going to give up first blood there.
Frosty goes down for the first blood. It goes to the side of upcoming Stars. That's going to even out basically the charts here completely. They'll still be down a little bit of gold, but the XP going to swing back in their advantage now as the EloFishers have pulled ahead, and well, they're looking like they maybe have the better early aggression comp here as we suspected. The
Ares
Thor,
Poseidon, right?
That first ultimate from Thor, you know, if that doesn't work, it just really sets the tone for the next 3 or 4 minutes. Is, well, you just become less scared of him, right? If that first kill works, the psychological warfare is maybe just as important as the actual kill itself.
So looking at the dual lane, pushed up. Heartseeker online already at about 16 stacks. He's going to have a huge... Medusa has a really big power spike now on hi-rez, and there's not going to be much he can do to fight. He's going to have to look and try and be safe, because Medusa has that acid spray poke that can also hit you no matter where you're at in the lane. If you are up at the front creeps, you're getting poked by that. Frosty, I'm really surprised that Frosty didn't have an active available at that first back, considering he's against a Poseidon and an Ares.
Feeling himself.
Yeah, we saw him... We saw him fall there to that.
Well, it looks like he had just enough to pick up his cooldown boots and didn't elect to go any further than that. But he does still hold the level advantage over Darzer, but he did take a spill so far now. Gold Fury, you can see she's up, and you know, around 6 minutes is about when we'll see the earlier attempts at her. But with Medusa with the Heartseeker, it's going to take some control from the upcoming Stars. They would be the first to look for that one. Here we go. It's going to be an initiation, and it's going to force the Thor right up into his ultimate. Looks like it's going to be a bit of a tower dive coming in. No, Kraken comes out to zone. And, well,
Thor actually crashes down in mid. I'm a little surprised about that, considering, you know, Ares did have his ult up, but they're going to trade out mid camps once again. I think this is actually going to go in EloFisher's, or excuse me, upcoming Stars' favor. Every time they trade and no fights happen, they're getting stronger. You know, they're letting their Hunter get to late game. They're letting that Ram basically outclass the Medusa the longer they get. And the same with Hercules. Hercules just becomes nearly unkillable late game.
Yeah, Medusa, though, she still has about 20 minutes before that Ram is going to be really hitting even at anywhere near as hard as her, right? It takes a long time for the Ram to be able to actually effectively
True.
duel the Medusa, considering the big attack speed slow that comes out of her kit.
Looking across the map, there's wards everywhere. Neither team really wants to get picked here, and we've seen attempts from both sides. Look at this Ares actually coming under. There's the blink, and once again, Frosty.
Still no beads, yeah, and he's going to get burned down by these chains. Cataclysm used, but it's not going to be enough, and now taking the percent damage is queuing, and he's forced back.
7 minutes in, and he needs to pick up actives. I mean,
no, he has it now.
There he goes. And it looks like he's got the beads. Doesn't have the Aegis yet, so that's going to be something that we're definitely going to be seeing Darzer take note of. He's going to be looking to once again cracking him once he comes back after he sees that he has no Aegis online.
Yeah, but will it be the combat blink coming up for the Agni, or will it be the Aegis? That's kind of been the choice that we've been seeing the players make.
I think you have to do Aegis. I mean,
yeah.
versus a Poseidon who's just going to, if you get caught with your beads down and you're not able to basically immune the cripple, it's really bad.
It's the well, it's kind of the when you're ahead. Usually, you'll see the Agni build into a blink too to try to continue his aggression, and then later transition that into the combat blink. But here, yeah, I think you're right. I think he's forced into an Aegis, or it's just gonna. Well, we're gonna see it happening over and over and over again. What we just saw for twice in the mid lane, which is that he's gonna get picked off by the Ares, and now even with beads too, he's not really safe, right? If Ares comes and hits him with that ultimate and then comes back on cooldown, he's still dead.
And, one thing to note, too, is this Ares is not even sitting in his dual lane, so Fisher is just getting solo farm all the time. You can already see him a 300 gold lead, and that's both hunters are 0-0-0 across the line. He's just getting that because he's not splitting the waves, and we actually could see some more aggression here.
They're going to stun out Fails, who's going to go right for the aggressive play, throwing out the Fear No Evil and an overhand smash, but nothing cooking there. And Frosty, missing that last bomb. Could have maybe picked up a kill there with the dot as well. Oh, but Sausage, he's going to go deep here.
Fails doesn't know. Oh, Sausage didn't know he was there as well.
Yeah.
Looks like Iron's rotated. It looks like both were trying to look for a team fight. And actually, I'm not a big fan of this, right?
Ooh.
Thor's in the air, though.
They want to find that Hun bots. It's not going to be happening here, and now it's just Sausage having a slap fight with the Chaac. And I hope they don't spend too many cooldowns here because it's really unlikely they're going to get a kill. They are going to get silenced out there. The Hercules on the backside. Here comes the Ares pull. Where are the beads from Agni?
He's got him this time. Medusa actually comes in the back and picks up a double kill quickly, and that I wasn't a fan of that invade, and it turned out poorly. They all rotated, but Sausage didn't have the backup to try and do that speed buff. They give up 2 kills, and they're probably going to give up this gold fury. Rom's not going to be able to contest. Thor has no ult, and Hercules is on the wrong side of the map.
Agni beads were available when he got pulled by Ares. He used them after he got pulled, it looks like there. They were on a 90-second cooldown as he died.
A little interesting, but, a little bit of misplay, I'm assuming, coming out. So, upcoming stars, they wanted to aggress, but they just didn't have the positioning to really do that. They allowed EloFisherS to come wrap around behind them. You saw it get a huge Chaac ult off, and then right after that, get the Poseidon Kraken.
Sausage is going to go ahead and driving strike out this solo lane camp, and you can see, well, why Hercules is so valued. He's very, very mana efficient in terms of his clear. He brings a lot of tankiness and a lot of control to the later stages of the game. But that being said, they did just give up a double kill to the Medusa, and Fisher now sitting 2 levels ahead of hi-rez, sitting somewhere to the tune of about 1,000 gold ahead as well. And you see the charts are really dipping heavily now down in favor of the EloFisherS. About a 3,000 experience swing in the last 5 minutes.
I think the experience swing, though, it is still pretty even on that end, and I think that's important, making sure they don't get too far behind. Really, it's more that you don't want the Ares to get too far ahead, because Ares, while he's incredibly bad when behind, he is devastatingly strong when ahead, because you can't kill him. He's just going to get multiple chains off, and his ult right there, you see a lot of abilities used into him, and it basically tickled him.
Yeah, he shrugs it off. I mean, it's the 1,000 gold and that 700 experience. The problem is it's all sitting on top of hi-rez, where we are going to have the chains coming out in the mid lane. Not getting a pull this time as the Ares, as the beads and ultimates are expended. Going to be looking for the just a little bit of harasses Cherio, and getting a little bit more maybe than he thought as well. Beads 3 have been used. He's going to try to run this one down. Fails, uses the ultimate, and hits him with a satellite just for good measure.
Everyone else, it looks like, has rotated, but once again, this Medusa coming into the back line. She picked it up a double kill. Oh, where are you looking? We're going to see Geb get picked up, and there's really nothing Renz can do. I think this is a losing fight if they keep this up.
Yeah, Fisher get credit for that kill as well with the in-hand after the ultimate. Now 5 kills for the EloFisherS, 0 for the upcoming stars. An advantage has been built, and it's been built in a big way on their hard carry in Medusa, who has her Heartseeker plus her Aussie for the lifesteal and penetration online. Boots to come next for some additional attack speed, and, well, she's going to be able to bully the Rom even more now for about the next 10 to 15 minutes until he gets to about 5 slots.
Yeah, and actually one of the notes I took, looking at upcoming stars past games is that I really thought they needed to get going early, and that's obviously not what happened. They only got 1 first blood in the entire spring split. 1 first blood. Even enemy managed 3. So At no point have they ever really had an early lead. Additionally, I want to see them have these big team fights because I was looking through these stats, right? And there's actually a stat that many may not look at, assist per kill. At the top end, Team Solo Mid, Fnatic, AFK, all these teams, they typically have a 2.5 assist per kill, which means when they're fighting, there's 3 or 4 people. Stars is the only team below a 2, which means when they're fighting, when they're actually finding kills, it's only 2 players there.
Yeah, it definitely feels that way. Cherio finding a pick on an assassin here or there, X-Frosty maybe finding a kill, Sausage finding a kill, but generally speaking, not these big engagements in which you're winning. We've seen all those skirmishes so far, they've really gotten beat by the EloFisherS, bullied around, Ares coming in, backside rotations from the Medusa, everything really working a lot better for the Fishers.
Yeah, speaking of that, Medusa once again going to put a lot of pressure onto hi-rez here. Big main Ting's going to ult him. Does he have an active available? No, he's just going to go up and immune that with his ult. But, I mean, look at the pressure. 4 people on the left side of the map right now. Agni and Thor are going to rotate in, but I don't know if there's much they can do. No one's in position for this Thor ult.
I don't know about this ultimate here. It's enough to save the tower for the moment, but he's going to eat some nice damage as well. The Geb ultimate on the backside looking nice. Can they find the Medusa as well? She's going to try to turn and burn the Thor. And Cherio get wrecked. Sit down in the left side lane. In the meantime, Fails goes deep as well and finds Frosty. What looked like a decent initiation finally coming out of the upcoming stars with the Geb blinking forward, and the Thor ultimate gets turned around. And Thor gets backpedaled.
I like the Thor ultimate, just not right there, right? The re-engage was the smart decision. Actually, Fails could get caught out here. He's going to get knocked up, but Poseidon doing a lot. Oh, Fails manages to juke it, but the boulder going to crush him through. Fails gets picked up. The first kill on the board for upcoming stars coming out of Sausage.
And there was no assist to that kill.
Yep, I'm saying it's 1 to 2 people per kill on upcoming stars. That's not what you need. At the high end, like I said, you're seeing Team Solo Mid, AFK, Fnatic, all these teams, when they find kills, there's 3 other members of their team around them. They need to look to fight and get good engagements. The re-engage on left lane was a good idea. Thor just got a little bit too greedy, winning early. If he had waited, you saw the huge Cataclysm hit 3. If he had waited for that, they probably would have won that fight.
Now, if he would have waited for that, if he would have hit anybody with his ultimate even. I mean, that could have set up enough of it, right? They could have piled back in. They could have looked to defend that one member that got stunned out. That makes the Geb backstab rotation even better at that point, and maybe those Agni bombs find the target and they're able to burst down, get Fisher. Instead of having him backpedal with that Medusa, using her passive that gives her the bonus movement speed in non-forward directions, and just able to kite the Thor and find the kill. 7-1 for the EloFisherS here, as the Gold Fury will be back up right about now. And you got to think this is where the next set of engagements are going to be.
Yeah, Chaac teleports in, and they're going to immediately pull this. Thor and Hercules on the wrong side of the map there. I think they have to give this up or look to get a kill early on. Fails. He doesn't want to kill. He's just zoning it out. Gold Fury is getting really low, but Thor's going to come crashing down, not in time.
Yeah, again, Cherio, too little too late with that ultimate.
They just need to disengage at this point. This
Chaac ultimate could be a big deal. Here it comes. It's going to silence 3, it looks like, and the Ares ultimate on top of it. QN to go down, but Dar's getting credit for that one. Frosty, he's backpedaling, trying to do what he can with those Agni bombs, but perfectly happy to take a Gold Fury and a kill. The EloFisherS are backing away.
I thought stars were still in an okay spot there before this last Gold Fury. Now they're getting pressured. Now they need to really reevaluate their game. Get Fisher right now is huge. And actually, they're going to be diving under mid, it looks like. Sausage taking a little bit of damage, but Lawfuls is just, he's too far ahead for Frosty to do anything.
Yeah, Frosty, it looks like a little desperation coming out of upcoming stars there. Just trying to get anything back, find a pick on any target there. And the Chaac coming out of solo lane with the Mystical Mail just has too much raw HP to deal with. Cherio, very, very aggressive here. What was the play? I mean, it wasn't like he had any chance of killing there. It was trying to make time for this Hercules rotation coming in. hi-rez, he's in a bit of trouble himself. He's going to go up, but he's dead to the chains. And now it's Sausage. No more chains available for him, but the flames burning him down. That percent damage so strong. He's going to try to pour out of this one, and they have no CC. Recognizing that nicely as Sausage.
Yeah, that was most players won't even think about it. Like, I'm going to get interrupted, but recognizing that there's no control with Fear No Evil down and the Medusa ult. QN just needs to back off and give this up. There's no one in position to help defend it. They have minions. It just seems to be they're like 5 seconds behind at all points or 5 seconds ahead. Either one person's going in ahead or they're all coming in a little bit too late. I think if stars they need to slow EloFisher's pace down if they want to have anything. Right now, they're playing at EloFisher's pace, but they're 7k gold behind. They need to not be looking for fights. As Sausage, gonna take a lot of damage, gonna get silenced once again in the Whirlpool. He's gonna get turned on, and Darzer will pick up that kill.
Yeah, no opportunity even for a driving strike there. Will go down before that. And yeah, kind of to your earlier point there about, well, the stars are forced to play EloFisher's game, and they see a few seconds behind everywhere. I mean, that last Gold Fury engagement is really the tail of the tape there. It's Hercules and Thor on the right side, duo man farming the pushed up lane, and then going, oh, damn, they're taking Gold Fury. And that's maybe more of the upcoming play from EloFisherS. They're going to use an ultimate here to try to pick up Qin as well at the mid camps. He's down to about a third HP, get a 3-man Cataclysm, but obviously there's no follow-up, and down he will go, fails.
After pick.
Credit for that one.
It's just pick after pick. They just seem to be out of position. And the biggest problem right now, honestly, I think the key to this game has been GitFisher. Not only was he out farming Rom, because basically that's what's going to have to happen, right? The Rom's not going to be able to contest unless there's a gank early, especially considering GitFisher got Heartseeker online. And then he's just been rotating to every fight, and you see them pulling this Fire Giant. I don't know if
Thor
Stars can do anything about this.
Yeah, Thor ulted very, very early there. And he's not really going to be able to find much with that ultimate, it looks like. And now, yeah, he's just kind of derping around. He had to go straight back down, and now he's going to be forced out. Cherio is going to take a lot of harass. He's going to eat the chains as well, forced out his beads, and they're going to chase still on. Darzer's going to be way too fast, and he'll run this one down, much less the blink forward and body block from the Ares.
Needs to get out of there as well.
Yeah, Agni's going to bail out. That's 2 members down. They did buy some time for their Geb to come back onto the field, I suppose, and maybe contest this Fire Giant.
Ram is trading his life for a tier 1 tower. I don't know about that.
Yeah. There it is, the third shot. Gives the rampage to get Fisher here. Does
Hercules have Hog 3? His Hog 3 is up, so this could be a steal attempt, but they're just going to Poseidon Kraken on top of it. Look for a kill. Ares getting really low. Is that their only Hog? Qin actually falls in. Upcoming Stars steals the Fire Giant. They're able to take out Ares before he's able to get the Hog off.
So Sajus picks it up. The shell factoring in there pretty heavily, feels like, as well. They're going to get some double kill on the back of this one. Can you find the last tick? Yes, the Mystical Mail will do it. Frosty getting it as well.
This is what they needed. Honestly, Medusa not being there, I was saying it was a bad decision, but Medusa not being there was huge. You know, they forced hi-rez. hi-rez forced the tower, forced GitFisher to go over there, and I think it was a bad idea for GitFisher, obviously, to try and defend that, but they're able to kill 3 and pick up the Fire Giant. It looks like they're going to get a tier 1 tower. GitFisher has a lot of damage, though. I don't know if they can win this 2-on-3 if GitFisher and Fails decide to fight this.
Yeah, if the Hunbots finds a crit early on, Medusa will be able to assassinate that target very, very quickly. But with no fear, no evil, they're probably not feeling really up to snuff to try to take a disadvantaged fight.
I think right now the game is even. With that Fire Giant buff, with the extra damage they're getting from it, I think the game is even. I think this gold is negated. But it's still the same story as the beginning of the game, where upcoming Stars, they really need hi-rez to get online to start doing a lot, or Sausage to get the items online to start doing a lot. I still don't think they fight. I think they farm. I think they try and get this Gold Fury. They shouldn't be trying to push towers and push Phoenixes.
Yeah, hi-rez, I mean, as you mentioned, got to get him online. He's still yet to buy a damage item. He has the Ick File, kind of a bridge mid-game item, the Diva's Gloves as well, but really nothing that's amplifying that damage. You look across the other side. Medusa has 2 shred-based items, the Executioner and the Aussie, both providing a lot of penetration, as well as the crit online now with that short sword, the 1,500 gold investment into crit. She is so far ahead of hi-rez at this point. This game needs to go 35, 40 minutes before he even has a chance of kind of going toe-to-toe with her.
Stars has to contest this. They have Fire Giant. They can't let EloFisherS get any further ahead and waste their Fire Giant. I don't want them to engage, though. I'd like to see them counter-engage there. Ares going to blink in here and probably look to hit multiple people.
Cataclysm, it's 1 on the backside. They're going to try to burst down, get Fisher, but he's going to sneak his way out of there. Sneaky.
Just
second shot, the kill. Yeah, not going to find the kill there, unfortunately. The Fear No Evil comes out, and Cherio finds himself a kill and get Fisher on the backside with the Thor ultimate.
This is the fight they need.
And now it's Fails going to look for it. Berserker's Barrage cleans it up. It's a double kill for Cherio. 3v5 now. As surging forward to the upcoming Stars, they find the big knockup. The silence comes out. It's going to hit 3. It's going to prevent a little bit of the follow-up here. Cherio finds it with a double tap. Mjolnir's is a triple kill for him. Darzer, however, with the big turnaround Kraken will find a kill back on a Cherio. So he gets 3, but gives up a life of his own. Darzer, he'll eat a bomb and big man tings. He's going to throw out some chains, but Sausage needs to be a little bit careful here. Unlikely he dies unless he gets turned on by another member or dives the tower.
I don't know if Sausage should do this. This is not a correct decision, but now
he also wasn't sure.
Upcoming Stars, great comeback from them. That was the fight they needed. They spent a lot into Medusa, and I actually thought that was going to turn out poorly for them, but the rest of EloFisherS just seemed to not respond in time. Ares comes out with a 3-man ultimate, but it gets immuned by so much in Darzer. He held his ult for a long time there. I don't know if that was the correct decision, but he was able to pick up a kill in the back end of that fight. But EloFisherS closing the gap now, only a 3,500 gold difference.
They halved it.
4K experience. Yeah, and they're going to pick up that tower, and that's going to just help them even more so.
Yeah, it's not often you see a Geb blink forward for a 1-man Cataclysm and not lose the fight horribly.
Yeah, I was actually scared for them. I was like, that's over. And GitFisher, I think Cherio picking up that kill in the back was important there, right? GitFisher wasn't able to pop his Aussie, heal back up and re-engage. Getting the kill was important. And then Cherio in the back line with the great wall, cutting off all of EloFisherS.
Yeah, they weren't able to kind of fall back out of that one. You saw even getting poked out underneath the tower was Poseidon from those Agni bombs. And yeah, Frosty factored in pretty heavily into that last one. But even with that triple kill, Cherio just barely keeping pace in this game, level 17, but he has caught up to fails now.
I am surprised at Frosty having that much damage for how far behind he's been. I expected at least very much Darzer to be further ahead. It seems to be like, you know, it's the 100-0, right? So you don't have as much poke on Poseidon. Typically, he's not going to have as much damage. But with how far ahead he is, I expected him to be doing a little bit more than Frosty.
So is this are the EloFishers not playing as well from ahead? Are they not doing the right things, or is it upcoming stars finding ways to find experience in gold and win fights?
I think it's a combination there, right? Upcoming stars were just making poor decisions in the mid game, and they were able to steal that Fire Giant, right? And it was just bad decisions by EloFishers when they were so far ahead. You know, rotating the Medusa over, allowing their Ares for whatever reason. I don't know exactly what the calls were going on, but Ares got so low when Fire Giant was only half, and they were able to pick him up and steal the Fire Giant. And that was a critical
definitely
mistake.
The misplay.
That was the mistake. Outside of that, they were playing fine, right?
15-8 now for the EloFishers. They're still ahead by those early 7 kills that they got up before the first kill. Oh, let's hold that thought as the Ares chains come out. Unlikely to pull anybody. No, they're going to get Q, and they're going to dump a lot into this Geb. He's a very high priority target. The chains come out, but not enough with the Heartward Amulet finished.
Great. That is great for upcoming stars. I think they need to be looking for an engage now. The Ares ult down, and honestly, their 2 biggest team fighting ults are down right now. They still have Fisher's ult, which is something you need to be basically wary of, but the Ares being down, and it looks like they want to fight, right? I think QN wants to fight. I'd like to see them look to aggress here.
Well, it's like we talked about in the early stages of the game where
they're baiting this.
The team that EloFishers has drafted here is really relying on a couple of big ultimates for team fighting. They're really more of a team looking to get pickoffs with that Medusa and the Ares chains and maybe a Poseidon as well. Here goes Thor up for what should be the better team fighting team. Oh.
Looks like a little bit of lag there, but yeah,
I think so.
That's bad. That's bad. I mean, I think it's more important that Cherio got poked out there, because even if he hit the stun and he committed to that, he actually might have died, because Fisher, we've been talking about it all game, but he has a lot of damage, and his Heartseeker, well, it looks like it's only 47 stacks, so it's almost fully stacked up.
So, yeah, I mean, with that Thor ultimate expended, that advantage, that power play, if you will, from the upcoming stars, with all of the additional ultimates that they had, no longer going to be factoring into this one. Those ultimates coming back up, and as you see, Cherio pausing the game, likely experiencing the lag.
Yeah, so they're going to get back into the game very shortly there. So with the Thor ult down, I still think they can fight. The bad thing, though, is I believe, actually, we're back to the game. Let me see here. Batz does have Jotuns online, so his Fear No Evil should be online here pretty soon.
Yeah, they're going to have these ultimates back up shortly. Here we go. QN making his way into the Fire Giant Pit, realizes it's not a full commitment.
They missed their window.
From the EloFishers, and now blinking forward his Ares. He's going to find 2 men with the chains. Neither are going to get pulled. Sausage ultimate forced out, though. Fisher trying to backpedal away from Cherio. This time Cherio getting the better of him as the Agni box. Once again, Fisher just backpedals and destroys Cherio. The Thor out of this fight for now. QN quite low as well. And you can see the rest of EloFishers trying to get in there and kill the tank, trying to get that opportunity to take the objective themselves. Darzer tries to dash forward into his own Kraken, but goes down to the Rom in hand. Last shot to come out. No. Dodge by Lacerate. Now it's hi-rez. He is who you got to keep your eye on in this fight. Can he do enough damage to carry his team through? Sausage finding a kill there, and now charging forward are the rest of the stars, but I doubt they find anything else out of the EloFishers.
Queuing the god there. That was a great engage by Ares, but an even looks like another pause coming out, but an even better counter engage by QN. I don't know if you noticed it. He actually ran to the back line after Ares ulted. Cataclysm 3. He didn't allow Medusa and Poseidon to get into that team fight and do what they needed to do off the Ares ult, or off basically the forced beads or the forced Aegises, right? QN, great play by there. Great play by him there, and able to stay alive even through the Ares chains.
Yeah, it's the second time now that there's been a little bit too much invested into trying to kill QN and the fight turning the other way because of it. Well, actually, it's just twice in a row. I guess the first time there wasn't really a fight off of it, but then in the engagement that did come out, well, they did the same thing, and well, they lost the same way.
Yep, taking a look though. It looks like about a 4K gold lead still for EloFishers. 3K gold lead, 3K experience lead. And right now, hi-rez is probably going to start coming online soon. Frosty working on that rod up to Hootie. How much gold does he have in hand? It looks like not enough. Nowhere close, actually. So he's got a ways to go. But the power spike is going to be hi-rez getting crit online, which you can see he's already started it. Getting that Rage Blade ASAP is going to be important. And then Frosty getting the Tahuti. Those are going to be the 2 power spikes that upcoming stars are looking for coming up soon.
Yeah, Medusa hasn't really gotten any additional farms since we last checked in with her. She's finished off her Rage Blade, about 800 more gold over that short sword that she had. And yeah, you're right. I mean, now it's hi-rez catching up. Once he gets the Rage Blade of his own, even that 6th item coming out from Medusa doesn't really bridge the gap between that big attack speed steroid that Rom's going to have. And so, yeah, right around that 35-minute markers, or maybe even 30 minutes, you're going to see hi-rez turn the corner and be able to really effectively duel the Medusa.
How has Q out-farmed Ares for how far ahead Ares was? I mean, like I said, right, they left Medusa in that lane for so long, but Ares was still getting a ton of kills and assists. You see him, being a big part of EloFisher's early game.
Well, things really just slowed down for the EloFishers, honestly. All across the board, their farm has dropped off.
I'd like to see... Yeah, and EloFishers are scared now, right? Upcoming stars have closed the gap, and basically, getting to late game, they're going to be coming online more. You look, and a Spirit Robe has been completed for Sausage, so who are EloFishers going to burst now? Like, they can't burst anyone. As long as hi-rez and Frosty stay in proper positioning, investing a ton into the Thor, who has Magi's, beads, and who's going to be able to blink out with his Mjolnir's attunement, they can't invest into Hercules, and they can't invest into Geb. So
right, yeah. They've lost fights trying to kill these tankier targets, and now Hercules is going to find a big pick on a Medusa. That means beads are down, which means that look for this Thor initiation to the backside there, and here he goes, Cherio going up. He's got to be looking for Get Fisher here. Can he find it? No, he's just off the mark there once again, but he still is disrupting the backline. Medusa's going to hit a big stone onto Hercules. The Chaac silence comes through. They're cracking as well. Geb getting quite low. Cherio pops his shield. Cherio finds a kill onto Fails for now. Backside, Get Fisher. They're going to try to burst him down. They will get him. hi-rez finds that kill, and now he's free and clear, but the Ares Chain's doing a lot of damage to knock up. And Loaf's finding that kill as well. Renz had a big opportunity there, but was not able to capitalize.
Qin, who's basically had great cataclysms all game, had probably the worst he's had all game there, right? He didn't use it early. It really may not have been his fault, right? Most of the team wasn't in position. But at that time, he used it literally to keep himself alive for half a second on 2 full HP targets. Cherio, not going to get picked out here, but...
Oh, look at this build from the Hunbots.
What does he have here?
He's building a second
crit
item.
Crit. That's surprising.
Yeah, that's really surprising. Usually you'll see with his passive giving him the crit. Cherio. Well, Cherio.
He's going to take a lot of damage.
He's going to take a lot of damage.
He's going to force his beads out, though, and I think that tower's still going to go down. I think I would have rather see him just farm the map. You see all these, all of their buffs, right? Just steal all the buffs, get all the farm, get yourself to level 20, and just give up that tier 2, because it was unlikely to defend to begin with.
Yeah, this is going to be hairy now for the upcoming stars, because EloFisher's going to be able to clear out all the buffs that they want them. Looks like they'll take the left side here, the red, and then eventually the purple as well. So they're going to leave the speed buff available for Cherio. He's got to be happy about that.
Oh, yeah.
He's pleased.
I mean,
with Sausage
speed buff his life. It looks like he's pulling it at the very least. Maybe just trying to bait someone out. No, our upcoming stars are doing this. They know that everyone backed in Cherio just off the mark once again, but Chaac's going to rotate in as well. And upcoming stars power play is now over.
Yeah, it's moved. Now, in fact, they are, losing the fight on the other side of the Fire Giant, but that Agni Bomb hitting all 3 bombs. They didn't do a lot of damage, but they stunned them out and stopped that engagement. There was an opportunity there for EloFishers to kind of really force their numbers on the right side.
That was great protections coming out from the Ares on and bolster defenses. You saw basically immuning all the damage that Frosty dropped there.
Yeah, and that's all 3 of his ultimate charges. So
that's the CDR boots, man. You don't have any damage online. Doesn't have to hootie. Can't burst through it right now.
Sausage, he's A-okay as he takes a chain. I wonder if Ares is going to build a Divine Ruin this game.
I don't think it's needed. Not Ares, at least. You might see it on Poseidon there as his last item. Poseidon's always has like an extra slotted item, but it looks like he might have filled it with that Bancrofts instead there.
Oh, how do you feel about Transcendence for Thor on Cherio in this game?
I like it. Late game, basically buying it when you're level 20, you basically almost have the full effectiveness. It's a lot of damage, and you see him, he's living through it. They have the 2 tanky targets, they have the shield coming out, and but
it's just in lieu of a Titan's Bane, basically.
Yeah, I think it's going to offer him more damage on the squishy targets he needs to kill, basically. He needs to kill Get Fisher, he needs to kill he needs to kill Darzer.
Yeah, maybe against Get Fisher, just reducing that time to kill some. Well, left side of the Fire Giant pit here. Chaac kind of setting the line, forcing back of the upcoming stars. And now it's just Sausage in an island here. He's going to get slowed down by the Rain Dance and Cherio.
No one's in position to really follow up on this. I don't think he should ult in.
Frosty's going to try to make it. And yeah, he's gonna think better of it there and farm up the camp. And now it's Frosty.
Oh, he's in a bad spot. Medusa just gonna tear through him. Oh, yeah. He's just gonna die from the damage to that ult.
Couple shots there, taking him down to about 50% HP. And now it's the 2 tanky targets from the upcoming stars trying to bail out here. It's a great Thor wall to stop for the moment.
Kraken
use as well. Fails, trying to get the crit. He will get the crit. And down will go Thor. Fails, trying to make his way out. But up in the sky, that's an easy kill for hi-rez. But can they peel for him as he comes back down into the Kraken?
Great placement on Whirlpool.
Get Fisher finding credit for that kill. And it's a chain as well. This could very well be the base
This
broken here. Yeah, it could be game. We'll see how long it takes him to kill Hercules, though.
That's,
oh, no, they get him pretty quickly.
I think
whoa, wait on, boys. All right,
they could just end, right? You only have QN defending, and once again, it just seemed like Stars, they weren't concise on what they wanted to do.
Here we go. It's the Phoenix getting low, 50%. They should have an opportunity. Yeah, I think you're right. I think they walk into the base and win here. No, they don't.
Like they're going
to hell with you, Kevin.
They're going to play it safe. I mean, no one's up. Agni's coming up. Okay. That's still... it's risky.
It's 6-slot Medusa.
Hey, you know what? This is to get into the summer split of the SPL.
That's true.
Why risk it? You know, we saw Pain Devion defend 1 versus 3 in the Return versus Legion game.
Yeah, that's
true. The same thing could have happened, right? So they're just going to be safe. Take the Phoenix, force that pressure, grab Fire Giant. They're either going to have their Hunter go in solo gold, or they're all going to back, go to gold, and push up that left side lane.
Yeah, it looks like it will be everyone going back. I'm sure Medusa wants to finish off that Deathbringer.
Oh, yeah, and right now we have a 7,600 gold lead, 10k experience. The experience basically negated. Most players are level 20 at this point. Only Frosty basically waiting for that last level.
Yeah, we're basically back to where we were before that Fire Giant steal.
But it's less of a lead, right? 7k at 10 minutes is not, or at 15 minutes is not as important as 7k, or it's more important, excuse me, than 7k at 32 minutes, right?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, they're only, if you look at kind of the total net worth of the teams, the percentage of net worth that they're up is nowhere near as high as it was earlier in the game, but it is still translating into items
that
nonetheless.
Deathbringer on Medusa.
Yeah, that's scary.
Although Rama is better late game, it doesn't matter if he's down a Deathbringer, right? That is just a huge increase in damage, right? You go from critting for 400 to 600 to 800 to 900. That's when you start 2-shotting and 3-shotting players. And
already, I mean, you saw him nearly 3-shot out Darzer. It took about 2 shots, taking down about a third HP there. Yep. So at this point, yeah, 2 shots, 3 shots from Medusa is going to kill any of these targets on the map that aren't, well, either the Chaac or the Ares.
Yeah, you see him critting for about 600 on the buffs there. I don't believe that. Who knows? There's so much crit on Batz as well. I would have liked to see him pick up a defensive item, but he's not going to need it if he can. Batz.
Yeah, Batz with a rage load of his own. It's got to be Magized as his 5th item, though. I mean, it would be mad. It's not doing. That's a big pull. It's going to force out some ultimates or some beads. Trying to move forward as QN. The ultimate used as well by Hercules here. And it's a lot of ultimates expended, and EloFisher's just going to be able to back off and use that Fire Giant buff to heal up the HP.
Yeah, you see Cheria there trying to clear out mid lane. The Ares ult was huge, right? They just need to force out certain abilities or actives coming out from upcoming stars here. You just see Agni, dumping these bombs, and they're just not doing anything.
Yeah, he just continues to do it, and they continue to just back off and let the Fire Giant buff heal him up. Now Chaac surging forward. He's going to force 2 out of the fight. This means that it's a 4v3 on the other side, but not able to push forward yet. Are EloFisherS?
Here comes Cheria. 2 finally.
Yeah, but it's not enough to turn the fight just yet. The Batz Fiona Removal comes out, splitting out the team fight. Thor taking a lot of harass. Agni forced to Aegis out as Batz is critting away at him. Now going over the top, it fails. He finds 1 kill. He's looking for a second as well, but Renz will get the kill to get Fisher. That's actually huge, but Darzer will find the return kill onto Cheria, and just losing bodies are the upcoming stars, even though they weren't able to kill that Dusa. Can he find the 3rd shot? No, that would have been so big for Renz. He could have single-handedly changed this game for his team.
But, I mean, it's not over, We do see Fails pick up another kill. Driving strike. Hercules, he's trying to get away, but if they pick up this kill, that's done.
Yeah.
Double kill coming out from Darzer.
Wow. Well, yeah, I mean, Renz very nearly turning that game completely for his squad. Finds a kill on Medusa. Nearly found the kill with his ultimate as well at the end, but instead, it will be EloFisherS taking game number 1 away from the upcoming stars.
Upcoming stars there, they had a bad early game. I really wanted to see them get ahead. Like I said earlier, they've only had 1 first blood all spring split, and you saw them start off 0-7. Sausage, the only player able to pick up a kill, and then he once again picked up another kill. But EloFisherS kind of I want to say gifted them. It was just a small decision that allowed upcoming stars to pick up 3 kills and that Fire Giant. They did slow down the pace. They secured a gold theory they needed, and stars were starting to come back together. But once again, they were just wasting ultimates in bad spots, and we have first blood coming up.
Yeah, they did lose the first blood, obviously, over to the EloFisherS, and well, they lost, I think, 7 kills before they got their first kill. And then if you look at the rest of the game, they were basically down 7 kills the rest of the game. So they recovered fairly decently from those first 7 kills they gave up, but they didn't really make any ground back necessarily. They kind of got back to even and then lost a couple more team fights, ended up losing the game. But let's take a look at the first blood that did come out. I think this was Big Man Tings that got...
Yeah, it was the Ares in the mid. It was Frosty about 6 or 7 minutes into the game. Only 4 minutes, yeah. He backed. He didn't have beats. He didn't have Aegis. He eats a Kraken, and then just the ult from Ares, no escape.
Yeah, that's
Without
enough.
beats, you're actually not escaping.
You're not making it away from that one, guys. Well...